our last item to discuss. So in addition to new ship and new refineries and new loops and new content, we also have new event store, which looks like it's got a whole lot of stuff going on in it. Yeah, I do seem to be lagging again. That's all fun. Woohoo. Maybe because I'm actually showing off stuff in game now? I don't know. So we've got ship blueprints. The Eviscerator is in here. If you want to speed up your Thursday event, or you want a second one for some reason, you can get the Eviscerator. Your regular faction ships are all in here. If you want to work on any of those, they do all have the restriction of basically 10% of the blueprint costs. So you're limited to what you can get there. As far as specialty ships, yeah, they're all down here too. Voyager, Monavine, Cerritos, Fuchsia, they're all here. If you haven't gotten a Borg cube, you can get a Borg cube as well. One of my other accounts has the option to get a Borg cube from the store here. Also, fun fact, this was not in the announcement, but something that was discovered. Because proofreading hard. Territories. Some of the 3-star territories got a new ability. Buy Voyager blueprints once a week to help speed up that whole process. So now you can start sourcing Voyager blueprints a little more easily if you have a 3-star territory. They also added a 3-star territory option, or some of the other territories got an option that will give you Apex barrier benefits. That was also added. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about what territories you want to protect or defend, or PvP Apex barrier enhancer, giving you additional Apex barrier bonuses / benefits. But it only applies during a takeover is what it looks like here. So not really as good, because, I mean, how often are people contesting territories these days? I'm not saying it never happens. I'm just saying it's not really normal outside of like the first week or two after a territory reset, which I guess we're due for again. But outside of that, not a lot of people jockeying for a position that it seems like the map changes a whole lot after the first 2 weeks. So there's your ship options. Maybe you don't need Voyager now because you have another way of getting it. Officers, opportunity to pick up the officers from the last couple of months. No Gwen DeMarco in here, which is a little disappointing, I guess. I mean, she has decent sourcing through the invasions, but kind of odd that she's not included with everybody else. It's a little weird. But obviously an opportunity to pick up the officers that were pay only. Laliari and Dane. Probably people I might focus on, especially because I don't need that many other shards to unlock them. She's okay. I feel like Dane is better. Yeah, when he's on the Protector, you get a big Mirror Universe buff. So he's pretty solid. And then, of course, you've got Tolra and Toli as well in there. Fleet commanders, you can source any of the original fleet commanders. Lorca is not in the fleet commander tab, Scribbler. I don't think he's supposed to be available through the store. I think the only way to get Lorca is to buy the new ship, or to wait 4 months to unlock the new ship free to play. And then you can start sourcing Lorca free to play. So you'll take, what, 4-ish months to get the ship, and then another 3 months after that to get him unlocked. So you'll have him unlocked by like June, if my approximation is correct. Surprised the Epic Mirror officers from before Galaxy Quest aren't in here too. Well, they're in the new refinery with the, oh, they're in the new turret, the arena. They put them all in the arena. So I guess they figured they don't need to put them in here because maybe they were in the last store too. It's so hard to keep track because we keep getting all these event stores every other month. So, Fleet Commanders, like I mentioned, ship parts. As usual, I'll give you the standard disclaimer on ship parts that many of these specialty ship parts, Cerritos and Fuchsia and things like that, the amount of parts you get in the bundle are all based on the tier of your ship. So if you are trying to tier up one of your specialty ships, buy just enough to do it, tier up your ship, and then come back. The cost will still be the same, but the amount of parts you get will have increased slightly. So you get a little more value for your money that way by doing that. Most of the specialty ships like that will have that particular feature attached to it. So if you're like, I only need 2 components to finish tier 6, don't just buy 10 bundles. Buy the 2 or 3 bundles you need, finish tier 6, actually go tier up the ship, and then come back and then buy more if you want to try and keep pushing the ship further. Get you a little more value for that one. Refits. Do we have any good refits in here? This Cerritos refit that I've been working on for 2 years now. Maybe I'll finally get closer to finishing that up. Some of the other refits for other ships, nothing jumps out at me. Throwback cosmetics. I'm personally never going to recommend a cosmetic because it has no in-game value. If you like these because you want to look differently, that's entirely your choice. Cloakings. Well, cloakings are all more available through the faction stores now and are ridiculously overpriced. When you think about how many shards you need, like to get cloaking for a Gladius would cost you 8 bundles at 20, you're talking like 150,000 of your event store currency to get cloaking for a Gladius, a level 32 ship. Like these are ridiculously overpriced for their cost. You need 12 of these bundles and it costs 50,000. That's 600,000 materials to get cloaking for your Tribune. Like that's excessive. Please hold your questions to the end. Specialty currencies, kind of the same stuff in here. Again, I mean, hey, there's more Syndicate XP if you want to cash in some of this to finish the other event. Never buy this. This is a joke. This is ridiculous. The research it unlocks is stupid. It doesn't do anything for you, and they still have the balls to charge 60K for this piece of crap. I say at every event store. I didn't want to disappoint anybody because I know some guys look forward to my little rants. There's one that will always be a rant. It is a racket. I make that joke every time. Never, ever, ever buy this piece of junk. Never. Don't do it. I'm the boss. I say no. Don't do it. Do whatever you want. It's your stuff. I'm just going to laugh and point in your face and go, ha ha ha, if you do buy it. Resources and materials, usually overpriced for what you're getting. Use this only as like a last-ditch effort. And that's really it. So seems like a pretty standard event store. Most of your stuff kind of front-loaded here, with some of your lesser desirable items pushed a little further to the back. All right, let's look at some questions. Plugster wondering. Oh wait, hang on. Scribbler says that the graphic is misleading. The graphic probably is misleading. Well, Fleet Commanders only has Janeway on this particular graphic, right? She's the only one I can see. Is your graphic different for Fleet Commander bundle? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me to find out that their graphics are misleading. That happens a lot. Plugster says, I don't have Sloan, Janeway, or 7 of 9. Which should I focus on in the event store? Janeway would be the one I would say focus on. Because 7 of 9 and Sloan both have other immediate sourcing. While they're all good and they all have their own specific uses, Sloan you can get by doing waves. He's in here. You can do a daily claim of Sloan shards. And 7 of 9 is in the Incursions store, which I know we don't have Incursions running regularly, but they still give comp chests with materials and still give the store access. So you can at least keep chipping away at them through that aspect of it. I also heard that if you did not get the Fleet Commander slot last time, the extra chair that was in the last event store, if you came up short on currency and you weren't able to buy it, Scribbler's going to be mad about that. Oh, actually, Julie's going to be mad about this one. It is available again in this event store, so that would be a good thing to get, would be that extra Fleet Commander slot. Yeah, that's a big one. Sugar says yours had Lorca and Janeway. Scribbler said earlier it was Janeway 7 and Lorca. Now it's just Janeway? Okay, so yeah, they must have realized the graphic was off on that one. Moobsy, safe flight. Good luck getting wherever you're going next. You're just going to buy the Wi-Fi from the air, and then you can keep watching the stream. So, they all have good value, for sure. But Sloan has another sourcing path. 7 and Locutus and them all have other sourcing paths. Janeway, the only sourcing path for her is spend $100 on her, or spend $100 and buy the ship and then start getting daily shards of her, or wait 4 months to get the ship and then start getting daily shards of her after that. If you've lived without her this long, if you can live without her for 6 more months, then go ahead and do that too. You love when I get angsty? Okay. Stewie says one day there's going to be a heroic SLB using those particles. No, there's not. There really isn't. Even as an April Fool's joke, they wouldn't do it. Confianza says the NX at 750 currency per blueprint seems like a good deal. The NX01? Yeah, the NX01 takes a really long time to source through the daily claims and whatnot. So if you don't have an NX01 Enterprise yet, and it shows up in your store, I have one, so I can't see it. That's not a bad thing to pick up, right? The Eviscerator only takes like 14 weeks of doing those events. And even then, like, the ship is decent and it has an additional refinery attached to it, so it helps obviously with sourcing some of the new Strange New World officers, which is again more what it's used for. But the NX01 also has good sourcing and adds extra materials, which then helps you get some of these extra favors and stuff through the whole Exborg loop by getting additional currencies, lots of rares and lots of additional epics that will allow you to get these favors and then continue to do some of these chests and stuff in here after you're done. So the NX01 would be a good thing to target, even if you just speed it up, right? If you're like, well, hey, I want to unlock this officer, and then when I've got 40 or 50,000 currency left, I'm like, I don't know what else to spend it on. Let me dump it into the NX01 blueprints and cut 3 or 4 weeks off that journey. Like, that to me would certainly make sense. If there's not a lot of other stuff in there you want, and that's your one big ticket item, awesome. That could also be good.